Okay, my lickable and lovely laughing lichlings, we are on the air, and welcome to all of our friends, enemies, and those we haven't made up our minds about yet. Take it away, Jesse.
Thank you. Thank you, Jeremy. So today we're gonna do a little something different because Ree and Jer are going out on a dinner date with their parents slash in-laws. So we have about an hour and 10 minutes to do some prepping that I would like to show everyone my process with it, and I want you, aka the players, to help me prep and do my homework for me. So what we are looking at is how I would manage to do this prepping. Dan will also be with us shortly. He's running late from work, which is why I decided to do this today because there's just going to be a lot of moving parts. And since we all can't be here because of daylight savings times is being stupid, that's why we're doing this. All right. So you guys are going to finish the arc of the Grendelkin at some point in the future, whether that's next week or in 10 weeks from now. Some point, you're going to move on. And I need a new location with new lore, NPC, and like magic items and etc. that I need to throw into this. I kind of already know the general antagonists for this next arc. But I still need to flesh out the location and monsters and all these other things. So, first off, the constraints that we're dealing with. The next location is going to be in the not on the material plane. It needs to be in another location somewhere in the plains, and you can choose whichever plane area that you want. And but that's the constraint that we are dealing with. So we're dealing with something that is far off in the distance. It's not on the material plane. It's going to be a high level, epic level, kind of city. So who would like the first to go? Everyone roll a d20. Highest one gets it.
How about the airplane?
The airplane?
Like an airplane? You said plane.
Don't call
Oh
me
my God.
Shirley.
Okay. Can there be snakes?
First off, all those references are great.
Thank you.
Second off, Jeremy and Ree, you guys can come up with what do you think would be a good plane of existence slash planar city location for said plane? Both of you at the same time. What do you think? Where do you want to explore?
What plane should we want to explore?
Sure, we got like Nine Hells, we got the Outer
Um,
Planes, we have the Bestial Plane, we have Celesti?
so I would
Yeah.
like either a dip into the Shadowfell or bloody hell, my brain is not working right now. Shadowfell or the Abyss. I mean, the Abyss is fucking a billion levels of infinite crazy.
All right. Ree, what are you feeling?
Rhiannon, do you copy? Over.
Sorry, I forgot I was on push to talk. I was looking at a map for planes, so I can.
Okay.
Yeah, the abyss is pretty cool. I would also say the beastlands would be cool, or Acheron.
Now, what is Acheron?
If I remember correctly, I think it is a Acheron.
The
A
bridge between Nirvana and the Nine Hells.
Yeah, it's like a in between area.
It's
Ultimately,
still
Infernal
they're on it.
battlefield.
It's
Yeah,
like the
it's
evil of evil, most evil, true evil, or neutral evil, right?
No, I think it's like true neutral.
Lawful
Oh no,
neutral,
I guess it's
lawful evil.
lawful neutral, lawful evil, because it's like both. Because
The infinite void.
it's what I think of it kind of as is like brackish waters. You know, where salt water meets fresh water is brackish. It's like the center area between like heaven and hell, basically.
So yeah, so like it's not as at least in like generalized D&D lore, if I remember correctly, it's not as much of a battleground anymore since the the demon or the nine hells got into the infernal war with the demons. It's sort of like a distraction. Let the devils go out fight that war for the rest of us, and the celestials will hold the fort at Nirvana.
Interesting. All
So
right.
it's purgatory?
No, because there is a purgatory plane
Limbo.
or limbo. Yeah, there's a limbo, which is basically
It's
purgatory.
basically a no man's land between heaven and hell.
Got it. All right.
Which I think is cool, and there are several layers to it, but I do think 4 or 5, yeah, because there's 5 layers to it. But I do think the abyss would also be a very cool place to fuck around and find out.
Okay.
I'm
Now,
also thinking about what I would prefer to make maps.
It would also be a return to the abyss for some of our characters.
It would be. All right. So, in essence, we have the Shadowfell, or the Plane of Shadow, as it's been mentioned in our current campaign. The Abyss, where demons and layers like onions occur. It's just infinite layers. The Beastlands, which we actually did a one-shot or a two-shot in the Beastlands before. Adroit Beasts of Kataka Combre is the one shot that I wrote that you guys went through with the wizard / saber-toothed tiger that was turned into a saber-toothed tiger that could cast spells and whatnot.
And Jesse, if people wanted to play that one shot, where could they go to find that?
There is a Patreon known as Rosa's Revels, where every single adventure is completely free to anyone at any time, and you can
always
also request.
toss a coin to your Witcher if you like.
And you could always toss a coin to your Witcher. And then we have Acheron, or the bridge between Nirvana and the Nine Hells. It's like the brackish waters, the several layers in between. So of those, Brad and Sam, which ones would you vote for / want to see? Brad and Sam.
I've been looking at numbers.
I would say Shadowfell or the Beastlands for me.
Okay, Brad.
I like the Shadowlands. I think that'd be cool.
Or the
Especially-
Shadowfell, sorry.
Yeah, Shadowfell is also.
Sorry.
I'm cool with really any of it.
Yeah,
I feel like the Beastlands would be kind of fun too.
I feel like the only thing about the Beastlands is that we are kind of in something similar to the Beastlands right now.
Yeah, that's true.
So it's just like it wouldn't be as big of a change.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm votes for Shadowfell then.
And if we went to the Beastlands, we know that Muad would try to fuck a dragon. It happens to every character.
Anywhere you think he's not gonna try
He
and fuck a
cannot.
shadow dragon?
Don't take my
So-
ideas from me.
All
These are my ideas,
all right.
damn it.
So we are going to potentially go into the Plane of Shadow / the Shadowfell. I know very little lore about the actual Shadowfell. Like anything that's been pre-written, I know very little about it. What about the Shadowfell / the Plane of Shadow entices you? Let's start with Jeremy.
I was just gonna say I have delved a little bit into Shadowfell lore, for the Forgotten Realms at least. And one thing that I loved to bring into one of my previous campaigns is that the Shadowfell is where like the shining city of the Raven Queen is. It's all her Shatterkai elves, basically the people that were loyal in her kingdom when she ascended, even though no one remembers her name. Their city still stands proud in the Shadowfell, with the only light of the Shadowfell being on the tree at the center of the city. Let me find the name of that in primary.
All right. So what about the Shadowfell did you like, Ree?
It's like the Feywild's goth older sister. So I like it for that, where the Feywilds are, colorful and bright and shiny. The Feywild is like the Shadowfell is like the exact opposite of that.
The upside down of the Feywild.
Correct. Or it's like, the material plane's Underdark kind of thing. It's just the parallel plane of the Feywild. And if I remember correctly, it's also I think it's ran by several different higher ups, but I think gosh, one of the trying to remember one of the deities that are there is the Fey Queen Tatiana's evil sister. And she basically was kicked back to the Shadowfell for naughty behavior.
Shar.
Is it Shar?
It sounds like
There's,
Shar.
Char's the sister of the moon goddess, yeah.
yeah, there's Masked Shar and Null.
Yeah.
Now, would you guys want to run a Shadowfell lore, according to the lore of the Shadowfell, or would you guys want to have the setting be the Shadowfell, but make our own lore ourselves?
I'd like to play with our own lore for the.
Yeah,
for the
I mean,
players.
I don't mind like
A sprinkling of
Yeah, we could
yeah, like a
buttress up
canon.
against.
sprinkling of things that are in fact, taken from canon, but I love messing around with things.
Okay. All right. So right now, we have a few different things. So now we have our location. We have some information about said location. So now we're gonna pivot a little bit, and we're gonna go to reviewing the characters. So you all have very impressive character sheets right now, but a lot of your features and traits, honestly, as the DM, I don't know about, or I know very little about, because you guys get so many things. You guys are level, what, 23 at this point? So I asked you about 2 hours ago to tell me things that you have a feature, trait, spell, whatever, and you're like, I want to use this feature, trait, spell, whatever. How would you like to use it? So everyone roll a d20, and highest one gets it. We'll go first.
It ain't gonna be me tonight.
You'll get your natural 20 eventually.
It's been 2 3s and an 8.
I don't know why I just chose 2, but
I'm keeping that 17. What of your traits, features, or whatever, and this is probably most applicable to you since you're playing kind of two different character sheets, what features or traits are you like, or magic item, weapon, whatever, or wondrous item, what is something that you're like, I want to do this with it?
Let's see. Yay. Oh my god, my foot has fallen asleep and now it is tingly.
Oh, the
Uh,
worst.
I mean, I will say one of the things that I would be really excited about in the Shadowfell, specifically with Bhranti, is there are a lot of undead in the Shadowfell, canonically anyway. That doesn't necessarily mean it would be forever, but because of that, uh, I can fuck up some undead because I'm a cleric, so that's always fine and always fun.
Now, are you talking like CR1 undead, like a horde, and we're talking maybe 100 or more, and then
Yeah,
just going ham on
yeah,
like CR1s?
I can anything CR4 or lower, I can just banish them immediately. They just get fucked, and then anything else, obviously, I would also enjoy murdering.
Now,
But
CR4, is it banished or destroyed?
let me double check because I think it might be. Get out of
I think
here.
undead is destroyed.
I believe
Then-
it's destroyed as well.
Let's see. Creatures that fail can instead be banished based on your cleric level. Yeah, so as an action, you present your holy symbol and one celestial, elemental, fey, or fiend that you can see. Oh, this is my specific one. I do also have destroy undead.
Mhm.
They have to make a wisdom save. If it fails, it's turn for 1 minute or until it takes any damage. A turn creature must spend its turn moving away from you, blah, blah, blah. Creatures that fail can instead be banished based on your cleric level, and they would be banished at CR4 or lower. And then destroy undead. When an undead fails its saving throw against your turn undead feature, it is instantly destroyed if its CR is lower than the threshold for your level. So it would also be CR4.
Cool. All right. So throw a bunch of CR4s at you and just see what happens.
Yeah, just what I want to see.
All right.
And then let me.
Is there a secondary thing that you'd want to do as well?
Well, I will say that Bhranti has not used any of her level of her higher level spells.
And what would be a good opportunity to use them? Are they like are they damaging? Are they like teleportation? Like what kind of spells are
I
they?
think, let's see. Most of them, from what I remember, are either healing spells, because again, I'm a cleric, or something that can help another character. I do have a couple destruction spells that I'm just not. Oh yeah, like the Wave of Calamity. Toxic fumes emanate from your mouth, and those who are unfortunate enough to be exposed, each creature in a 30-foot cone must attempt a con save. Creature gains 2 level exhaustions on a failure, or 1 level on a success. A creature with 1 or more levels exhaustions gained from the spell may attempt a con save at the start of each of its turns to remove 1 level of exhaustion gained from the spell. Things like spells like this are sick, right? But like they're also so much work for you. So I feel bad also because like NPC sheets like don't have like an exhaustion toggle, generally speaking. So you would have to just remember all of that, which can be kind of a nightmare.
So something that I did with Diov that I might do with you is roll percentile dice. Instead of rolling 1,000 Constitution saves against that, we could do something where we would just roll a d100, and in a crowd of 100 people, 60% of them are affected by it. Or we know that, or we double it and we say it's like if the threshold is 60, it can go above 60, but if you get a 30, it's still 60% of the people, just because they're all a bunch of like commoners or whatnot. So we could do something along those lines where we just kind of hand wave a little bit instead of me making a bajillion Constitution save rolls. And then the exhaustion, instead of like this angry mob running after you because they're exhausted, and they have -2 penalty to everything, they're just like, fuck it, I'm going home. This isn't worth my time. This isn't worth dying over. They're afraid. They're intimidated, whatever. And that's how we can kind of figure that sort of a deal out. So don't be afraid to do that. And we can just kind of homebrew it and rule of cool it as you do it.
Okay.
You know, if it's obviously a big bad evil guy combat encounter, then yeah, we'll roll for it. But if it's like a general encounter where you're facing a mob, then we'll just kind of hand wave a little bit.
Yeah, I think another thing with Bhranti specifically, because she like holds her magic inside of her, like until she's ready to expel it. Like if she casts like one of her higher level spells, then that like specific, I forget what they call it specifically for cleric, but yeah, her spark. Her holding her spark also gives her cool shit. So sometimes I'm like, well, I don't want to lose my spark.
She likes my spark.
Which is ironically.
How often do you get your spark back?
Right now I have 1 per long rest.
Got it.
Yeah, so as soon as I cast 1 spell, it's gone, but I can hold it for up to 8 hours. So that's why it's like, that's also sometimes, you know, I just gotta use it, you know, because I always feel like, well, there'll be a better moment, but will there?
That's the gamer in you. That's the
like,
hoarding all of your healing potions to the very last boss
the auto
encounter.
save.
Exactly. All right, and Jeremy, if you want, could you please change the scene to show the text? Maybe it will help other people see how we organize these things. Sam, what are some things or features or whatever that you're like, I really want an opportunity to use this, but I just never got the opportunity to use it yet?
Well, okay, so I would say mine's not as extensive because it's not magical, but just using blind fighting more I think would be fun because it's kind of like just a mild advantage I might be able to have where, have blind sight for 10 feet and I don't know.
Might be helpful in the Shadowfell.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's where it's
definitely
kind of
helpful in
like
the
that would be
Shadowfell.
really helpful in the Shadowfell. And
Alright.
then also being able to finally decapitate someone with the Vorpal sword. It's not, I don't ask for much. I just want the simple things, man.
I would. Have you looked through the level up adventurers guide?
I think I have.
Because
Those
I
are your
know,
maneuvers.
yeah, I know with the maneuvers for Paladin, I was able to, like, on any given turn with enough exhaustion points, I was able to bring my crit rating down to like 17. So, it might be worth looking through that kind of stuff, and or looking to create magic items that you might want that decrease your critical rating.
Yeah, I think it's just going to be a matter of like being able to get a bit more bang for my buck for attacks just cuz I feel like they might be a little bit limited to a single target.
Yeah, like what Jeremy was saying, definitely get that maneuver and utilize it as often as possible to lower your crit from a 20 to a 19 to an 18 to a 17, so that a 17 or higher you crit, you decapitate. So that would be really cool. All right, anything else, Sam?
Um More just a reminder for myself that like just the maneuvers and you trying to utilize them more because I think I had the same problem that Ree had with like you were saying you hoard your health potions for like ever and I
Yeah,
feel like
and
I
then you just
don't.
never use them.
Yeah, and I feel like I feel like I'm scared to use my maneuvers because I forget that I get them back at the end of I think a short
Short
rest.
rest. Yep.
Yeah,
Exactly.
so it's like I have so much that I have potential for, but I'm always like, "Oh, but I don't know when we're gonna get our next short rest. I don't want to use them all up for like these minor enemies."
Did I ever make an item for you for your maneuvers on D&D Beyond?
I don't think so, but I do have my binder.
Cool.
So,
Send me the maneuvers that you want on that item, and I will add them, and it will be like a spell where you just click it like a spell, and it will just populate and roll for you. So the maneuver will already be like ready to go. So we'll get to that. Jeremy, what is something that you want Diov the ability to do / have been waiting for an opportunity to use?
So, I mean, Diov was built like he was built to be a fighting wizard with the School of Force missiles. So I don't have a whole lot of like cool things built into that. But I have picked up traits and features along the way that lead into his sage background and his historian / librarian backstory. So, I mean, he is, for all intents and purposes, the lore keeper. So, um, large lore drops. A big thing for me too, just as a character, is like the motivation for doing what I'm doing and being where I am. Especially at our level, like there would be nothing that would be like tethering us to the plane of shadow. If we didn't want to be there, we just portal out and we're done, like, kind of thing. So there has to be like a lore reason and a motivation for Diov to spend his time doing something. At some point, just doing something for the greater good doesn't really float the boat. So history, like lore drops, heavy lore kind of things where, you know, I have an ability where if I go to an area or place or a city, I can immediately get some kind of hint or clue dropped from the DM about that place because of my feat that I have. And I'm really good at helping other people with their history checks too. So, um, yeah, just built-in drops and hints of lore that would lead the party to potential success and or power.
So I have written here, we need a MacGuffin for Diov for sure. Is there any MacGuffin that Diov would hands down always go for specifically? I know you said heavy lore and whatnot, but is there anything
So
specific?
non-magical item specific, he's been looking for a way to reverse deific level effects on land masses. His like end goal is to return to the islands of Amundale and reverse the gaping hole of the abyss that he's created back in the day, which caused Katarina to get sucked into the Great Mother's embrace. So yeah, that he's looking at a way to reverse deific effects on the material plane, which not only is super difficult to find, but also well guarded, because what God wants mortals being able to reverse what they can do.
All right. I'm putting a note, and you all can see it, and I don't mind if you see it. A city in the Shadowfell was transported. That is part of the lore from when the Raven Queen ascended. It doesn't have to be the Raven Queen specifically, but that's part of the lore of the Shadowfell, is that a city was completely transported into the Shadowfell and kind of kept there. So that's actually a great hook for.
So let me just verify that I did look, and per Forgotten Realms lore, the Raven Queen was actually a Shatterkai. So she was from the Shadowfell, so her place is there. But we're creating our own lore, and it could be that city was transferred.
I like that even better. So the city of Shadowfell was transported from the material plane to the plane of shadow, whatever the hell. And that will be the hook. That could be a hook, at least, for Diov. So that's something that just came to mind, and I want to make sure I remember that. All right, Brad, what are some things that you are like, I really want to use this feature, this trait, this spell that I've yet to use, or it's never lined up perfectly? Like, what is it that you really like?
Well, nothing I really have, because I kind of created Muad to be a weird support sorcerer, warlock, where I didn't take Eldritch Blast, and a lot of my evocations were support bigger kaiju body, maybe. But like a lot of the, I can never remember what they're called. I get like feat kind of things I took were like, I just had them up. The invocations, like I can cast Speak with Dead at will in case we need to speak to a dead body, and speak with animals at will, so we don't have to use spell slots for those kind of things. So a lot of the stuff I have, I kind of like just using organically. And all my spells are really offensive things, but I was kind of thinking about turning him into more of a psyker, because I noticed a lot of my cool stuff is psychic related, like synaptic static, feeble mind, and psychic scream. And I was thinking of something cool, but I don't know how to rule it, because with the Ring of Mind Shielding, people can't just willy-nilly talk with me telepathically. So I was kind of thinking of a way to pick and choose who I allow in, and then just kind of yoink their soul out that way, instead of having to touch them. So like, say, I don't want to say like a big bad, but like maybe there's like a minion screwing with us throughout a dungeon, and be like, all right, enough of that, taking you right out, kind of
Your
thing.
soul is mine. You
And
basically
stuffing.
created Metal Shang Tsung.
Yeah, maybe. I don't know who that is.
You ever play Mortal Kombat?
Mortal Kombat.
Nope.
Yeah, no. I'm not good at fighting games.
All right, so have you thought about using your familiar as a way to yoink souls out?
Yes, I have done that.
Okay.
But it's kind of dependent on my familiar being able to make it to that person.
Okay. So you want to, in essence, yoink souls from afar, generally smaller / lower CR souls, just because it would be pretty OP just to do that yoinking. And anything else? So you like the soul idea. I know we discussed some soul stuff earlier, but anything else?
Yeah, I think Muad'Dib's kind of motivation at this point is to see how much of a dick he can be to bad people,
Ah, okay.
because he was bad man. Now he's on the other side looking in, and he wants to be their boogeyman.
So he wants to
so-
be bad, but against the bad people, which makes him good.
Yeah,
like
Anti-hero.
flensing an evil wizard.
yeah, trying to flinch an evil wizard. And also,
Oh.
yes, body mods out the ass for metal body.
Body mods.
Da-na-na-na-na, Inspector Mod.
Da-da-da-da-da-da.
Your soul.
All right, so we got a lot of great reviewing of the characters, so I know now what you're looking for and what will motivate you. And for the record, for anyone listening, so like most of the time, I normally run modules with a lot of homebrew mixed in. I would say this epic tier is one of the first like major homebrew. I've done a lot of one-shot homebrews from scratch, but this epic tier campaign is all homebrew. Like I'm not looking at anything and just kind of making it up as I go week by week. And these are actually like kind of the way my notes start with like review the characters, a strong start, secrets that cues the players will find, fantastic locations, etc., etc. So like this is like my thought process through all of this. So we have the review the characters. So now we're gonna go back to the Shadowfell and specifically maybe the city or the area around the city. We're not talking about the whole plane. That's just too much to flesh out. So the city in the Shadowfell, we already got a little bit of information about it through Diov's hook. So a city in the a city in the Shadowfell that was transported from the material plane into the plane of shadow, and that could be a good hook for Diov. So I'm gonna just copy and paste that. And actually, that's not going to go there. That's going to go into fantastic locations. So, in this city of the Shadowfell, and that was transported from the material plane into the shadow plane, we need a strong start. We need quest seeds. Quest seeds where at the beginning of the session, whether that's session 1 of you being in the city or session 20 of you being in the city, I introduce to you a quest seed that you would be like, I would take that seed in a heartbeat. And it does not have to revolve around anything that we've discussed already. It can talk about demons. It can talk about a magic item. It can talk about a situation between two factions within the city. What turns you on for a quest seed that you're like, we need to do that now? Everyone roll a d20.
I was also going to suggest that if anybody wants, I do have access to a early instance of the Negocios Infernalis cards that we've used before for world building. If anybody wants a prompt card to spark some creative juices for any.
Awesome. All right, Brad, you need to stop rolling so goddamn low.
That was from the last one.
No,
Was
that's
from the
for
last
this
one?
one.
That's from this
No,
one.
Oh no, I'm
Listen,
sorry.
we're not doing combat. I don't care at this
Oh
point.
dear.
All right, Sam, it is you first. What is a quest seed that you would want to find in this city? Whatever the city is, we haven't really expanded upon it, but what is a quest seed that you think would really fit in, that you would take? Not necessarily fit in. I don't care about fit in. What is a quest seed that you would take every single time, hands down? Whether it's a love story or two factions fighting against each other or a magic item or whatever. What do you think you would take?
Well, I like the idea of doing the two factions fighting against each other, but then potentially having like I don't know, but not like I don't want to say benign kidnapping, but having it be like like an important person from one faction gets kidnapped, but were they really kidnapped or did they want to leave situation?
Like a little
Um,
Romeo and Juliet kind of thing.
Yeah, kind of little Romeo and Juliet, but then it's actually like, yeah, no, they actually weren't originally kidnapped, but they actually did end up somehow getting kidnapped by a different group. who also happens to hoard some magical items or some nice armor. A little reward at the end. Like, I don't need no reward for the factions, but a little reward for us. Yeah, and it could potentially start a war.
All right. Cool. So that
Some
is
diplomacy, some espionage, some fighting.
so diplomacy, some fighting, and obviously rewards for
Oh,
finding.
And wars are good. This is just like from my DM brain. Wars are good places to sort of cut the roles and let people take a more cinematic approach to being epic. Usually when I get to that point in a campaign, it's be like, all right, well, just tell me what your character is going to do, and I'll modify it around that. So it's like, oh, I want to catch a fireball, and you just there's no rolling, you just incinerate 30 troops that are running at you, kind of.
Mm-hmm. The way that I would do it, I would think I would be like a pseudo combat like that. Another way that I would do it is you would influence the war. So because you intimidated that one general on that one side, he didn't have the balls to attack with his full army at the time, or different like commanding section, and so he only sent half of them. And he escaped with the other half, and so that half got decimated because you intimidated back in the day. Something along those lines. That's a little bit of how I'd handle that. So like your actions led to the thing about the war, or you helped the Harpers and you found this magical item for them, and thus they were able to defend themselves against the evil cult or whatever. So like that's kind of how I would do that cinematic sort of thing. All right. So now,
potentially saying your actions may have consequences later on, you just may not realize it.
or
reward.
Yeah.
Well, consequences don't always have to be negative.
True.
I guess that's true. Yeah.
Jeremy, what is a quest seed that you would always take, or you think would be a really fun or cool idea?
I'm gonna pull a card for myself.
Go ahead.
Do it.
Do it.
Skin is a coward. Interesting. Okay. A quest seed. So for Diov, I would say his interests align in things that are specifically directly related to him or his family, and the pursuit of knowledge unknown. So it would be kind of interesting in more of an investigative quest seed, something along the lines of either people are disappearing or being replaced by skinwalkers, or it would be kind of people are just like going to their friend's house and there's just like their skin and all of their bones and muscles have been sucked out. Some kind of like not like a germ or virus epidemic, but like an epidemic of some kind of radical magical crime that would pique his interest in. Oh, well, that's magic I've never heard of. It's disgusting. Let's find out how it's done.
I do love that.
So, almost kind of murder mystery?
Yeah.
Or like primal skin changing shenanigans. Maybe. I don't know.
I was just like, I'm thinking like, so it would have to be something big enough that it's causing a ruckus, right? Like one or two people like disappearing, or like one or two people spontaneously combusting, yeah, it's interesting, but is a level 23 wizard gonna give a fuck about it? No. But if like every day 2 or 3 people are spontaneously combusting and nobody can figure it out, that might be interesting.
All right, and is this a quest seed that you think Diov would take, or one that Jeremy loves, or both?
This is more Diov.
All right, now what about Jeremy?
Jeremy's quest seeds don't really match with Diov's.
Okay.
Yeah, Jeremy's all about like, oh yeah, we should totally be heroes and help people, like yada yada yada. No, Diov just is completely self-serve.
Okay. Well, maybe that'll align with other things, with other people's quest seeds. All right, so then, Ree, what would be a quest seed that you would like take almost every time? What's something that you really get your juices flowing that you'd be like, I'd take that quest seed now?
Anything like Bhranti, anything with gods, for sure. Like gods fighting each other. I think would be pretty cool. She would also literally help anybody that she feels is even minutely savable, moral wise. So that's just Bhranti's just like, oh, somebody needs help? Let's go. We can do that. Even if we really don't have time for that, I will still do that. Bokash would probably favor the ability to absolutely murder anybody who worshipped his old god.
Who is?
Who did I decide? Hold on. I did actually write some stuff for him. Bokash. It's funny because actually the Shadowfell ties well for Bokash because in my stuff with him, I had wrote that he was actually like an elven paladin who became an anti-paladin. So it would make sense that he would have been cast from the Fey realm into the Shadowfell, and that's why he got tied to Bhranti. But was once a paladin of... There. What does that say? Show me more. Oh, of Shahani Moonbow.
Ooh, that's gonna be a type out. Shahani Moonbow. All right. All right. So God stuff. You want to see God stuff. Now, is this also in line with what Ree wants as a quest?
Yeah,
See?
I love fucking around with gods.
Cool. You're gonna love the second arc.
Yeah, she's also Shahani Moonbow. She was like, I think she was technically kind of like the precursor to Saloon.
Saloon. Got it.
The goddess of the moon, daughter of the night skies, goddess of moonlight, lady of dreams, the luminous cloud.
All right. Anything else?
No.
All right, Brad. What is a quest seed that you would take every single time that you really want to get into?
Are we talking currently or just in general? Because currently, I think
both.
we know what it is.
How about both? How about in terms of the Shadowfell / Plane of Shadow, as well as just in general?
Recently, I think you know which one I would take every single time, right now. And other than that, just souls.
Just gonna collect them like Easter eggs.
Could you put some more souls in my cup, sir? I'd like some more souls, please.
Kind of Pokemon-esque. But there's a secret one right now that Muad as well as I would absolutely be like, let's go. Don't tell Secret 1, see Arc 3. Okay, yeah, definitely just souls.
All right.
They're cool, and they're shiny, and they make you feel good.
Could you come up with a soul-related quest seed in the Shadowfell that you think would be applicable? Let's kind of flesh it out. So obviously soul stuff, but let's be a little bit more specific.
Trying to
What-
steal Bhranti's second soul.
Ooh.
I have a different idea for that one. So you said that like a city got sucked into the Shadowfell. Maybe like seeing if there's any like corruption involved with souls being, I assume, forcibly transported across planes.
Like a soul black market.
Not necessarily. Those definitely already exist. But more is like, while he does want to collect souls, it's kind of like an intriguing thing to have a meat puppet and a soul, and you can kind of do different things with them at the same time. So
I feel like we're about to become where like we wake up one day and we all go downstairs. Modib just looks fucking nuts, and we're like, "Are you okay, Modib?" And he looks at all of us with crazy eyes and says, "Guess how many souls are in this person?" And you've just been trying to shove multiple souls upon souls into one being just to see what happens.
yeah, put it down as Soul Doctor.
You want to be a soul doctor.
Yeah, which could be interesting with
He's
like
a soul man.
Oathbreaker paladins. If their soul was corrupted to cause them to break their oath, maybe there's a way back from that kind of thing.
Interesting. All right. I assume Ree lost power on her Bluetooth. All right. Soul Doctor. Cool. Anything else? Brad.
Nothing. No, I think I'm good right now.
All right. So now, secrets and clues that the players could find in the Shadowfell specifically, or the Plane of Shadow. This can be in the city. This can be around the city. This can be in a cave nearby the city. This can be in a mountain nearby the city, the forest, an ocean, whatever you think. This can be totally unrelated to any of the quest seeds that you've just given, but a secret or a clue. So obviously the easy ones would be Arc 2 secrets and clues that I already have. Arc 3 secrets and clues that I kind of already have. So like obviously those are going to be in there. I've already littered a little bit of like Arc 3 clues and Arc 2 clues in Arc 1, which is where you're currently at. So shockingly, that actually still works. So what other clues would you guys want? I mean, it's kind of hard to do this with like Arc 2 and 3, but looking at your quest seeds, we could do some things along the lines of like, well, let's just see what you come up with. Let's start. Everyone roll a d20. Brad, you have to roll higher than a 6.
If you roll under a 6, you have to roll again.
That's funny.
Yes, the quota.
Jesus.
He
Alright.
did what you asked.
Sam.
Not by much.
What is a secret or clue that you would want to find or to learn about? Regardless of the questies, we can ignore the questies. Just give me one thing, whether that is things that we've learned about so far, such as like Stellarium or other things like that.
I feel like Stellarium would be a big quest seed for spiders, since it's like, okay, I could use this to help like become more effective as a team member and have like more of a magical ability than what she already has,
All right.
because she
Next-
doesn't have much.
All right, sounds good. Ree, what would be a clue or secret that you would want to know or learn about, regardless of the quest seeds, just anything that we've learned thus far about?
I would like to figure out who the fuck Modib's little Warlock patron is real quick, like, and get that shit under control. Because Bhranti and Ree already have a theory, but she doesn't have enough as evidence to really put it all together. So she is at this moment in time not ritually sacrificing Muad, although she thinks she might need to at some point.
All right. Jeremy, I believe, is still pooping.
I just got back.
Brett. Okay, just got back.
Welcome
Jeremy,
back.
what would you? What is
So-
a quest seed or clue that you would want to find?
Are we talking about secrets and clues specific to the Shadowfell, or just specific to the game in whole?
Everything that we've done so far, as well as the Shadowfell.
Definitely more information on the Pantheon and how it relates to our Pantheon, as well as the specifics of the whatever deific magics blighted this planet.
Dib has a tiny bit of information about that.
No, my Dib's an asshole who keeps shit close to his chest.
So you're talking about Seraphor specifically and the surrounding jungle and whatnot.
I mean, I guess we
And
don't know
then-
much about the rest of the planet, but usually when gods fuck with a place on the planet, they're not leaving the rest of it.
Okay. Brad, what do you know that others don't?
Oh, said that without
You,
grabbing my
yeah, you
book.
can. Yeah, you can type it out if you don't want to say it, but
Oh no, it's not. It was just because it was when I was researching the plant clipping to see what was up with the plant growth. It was a curse. Still fighting Queen Bee. That's too early. I remember doing some magical analysis on it, and it was a curse from one of the gods. I just can't remember the rest of the stuff I wrote down. Come back to me on that. I will find it.
that's okay. While you are finding it, what is a clue or secret you'd want to find out more about, whether that is about the Shadowfell or about the campaign in general?
Why did
And I know
Diov
which one
have
you're gonna
goldfish
choose.
bowls?
Yeah, I know which one you're gonna choose, but you can't say it out loud.
No, that actually wasn't the one I was going to choose.
Oh.
I was actually going to choose something like the gods. I'd like to find more out about them and specifically why there seems to be two sides that are going at it right now. Like, why do they have beef outside of? Yeah, it can be
Supremacy.
upsetting to have new people joining in supremacy, but it feels like there's something more to that, especially if they magically nuked an entire area bad enough to affect plant growth and obviously the crater.
All right. Cool. All right. So we got a little bit of secrets and things that you guys want to learn more about. Now, the fantastic location. The city of the Shadowfell was transported from the material plane to the shadow plane, or the plane of shadow, however you want to call it. What is what is the city? We want details. We want information. We want who was the city beforehand. What were they like? What is the race? What type of military do they have, etc., etc. Like, we need information about the city, specifically like what's the commerce like, what's the industry like, what's the education like, what's the agriculture, what's the culture, and things about that. So how about we all roll a d20 again and see who's going to go first on some information on it. Hey, look at that,
Yay!
Muad.
Oh no!
Hey, Lowe's good in this case.
Yeah, you go last and can figure out some things.
I enjoyed it.
Oof, didn't get first. All right, Ree, what are some fantastic locations within the city or nearby the city? What is something you want to explore in the plane of shadow or shadow plane that is outside the city, but more importantly about the city? Give me any details that you think should be involved or you foresee in the city that you would want to. If you were the DM, what would you put in the city?
a coven of shadow witches. I just want like a whole group of like mildly hot ladies that are out in the middle of nowhere in the Shadowfell, with their tits out and just like living their best witchy life. Obviously, that's on the top of my list, for no purpose, just for fun. Um, I would also so when I think of Shatter Kai in particular, I think of like psionic powers and psionic weaponry. And I feel that there's such a lacking in D&D 5e of like psionic weapons and like artifacts and stuff. So I would like to meet somebody who could create those kind of weapons. Just not even necessarily to purchase, but also to just like come up with cool psionic weapons. Would be really that would be fun. I could go for some go-kart racing. That would be fun. A
Having a
ball.
carnival.
Yeah, a carnival would be so much fun. Like a good spooky ooky carnival. Let's see, anything else? A library, so Diov could shut the fuck up. Let's see. Also, I think Bhranti would also enjoy, because I know she does enjoy, helping people. So maybe there's like a temple to a more positive god that was desecrated. She could go and spend time helping, sanctify it back up again. Or there's like a plague going through the town that she can go help cure some people of.
All right, sounds good. Thank you very much for all those fantastic locations. And if
You're
anyone
welcome.
sees these and would like to be more expansive on it, like you see the carnival
Yeah.
and you're like, oh, I want to expand that, like then go for it. So Brad, what types of things do you want to explore in this setting, these fantastic location of this Shadowfell city that got transported? What sort of things would be in the city, around the city, nearby? What would you do as a DM? What would you put here?
I'm always a sucker for a good bazaar, especially if the city has been transported to see like an evolution from normal goods to what is now common and what people would need to live in this plane. Maybe like what kind of different food are certain magical items that are common and useful in the material plane no longer useful, and they just needed to find something else to use in place of that, or something is super dangerous and now something that would have been rare and time consuming because they didn't really have to deal with it before. Now everybody really needs to make enough of an effort to make everything easier for everyone else, I guess. I don't know. I'm a sucker for logistics and that kind of stuff.
All right.
Um,
You make some notes about that. I want you to expand upon that much further. Specifics as best you can. Like what item would they need or not need anymore? So just like take some time and just think about that. Next would be Sam. What are you looking for in this setting?
Okay, do like the idea of a spooky fun carnival. I think we've earned it. Probably I do like the idea of like
Correct.
depending
Instead
on
of, I want to win mildly magical trinkets too. Things that are like, think of like the toys from Toy Story that Sid creates. Those are the trinkets I want.
God.
what is my slightly magical fishing rod not good enough?
So going on, Sam, what were we saying?
And then I like depending on how long the city's been there, just like seeing kind of how Brad was saying, like how have these people learned to adapt to living here, and how much have things changed even from like the physical standpoint? Do they look different than what we would normally see in our material plane? Like, have they learned to adapt to have like bigger eyes, more reflective eyes to see in the dark? Like, how have these people looked and become different to survive in their new circumstances?
So
And
a lot of
then
times, whenever fleshing out a location, backgrounds, backgrounds like sage or athlete or gladiator that you can like choose when you're doing a character creation. Whenever you're fleshing out a location like this, it's always really beneficial to do backgrounds of like if you were to make a character from the city, what are 3 backgrounds they could choose from this city? So you know how you like choose sage or like hermit or whatever, and then you get a couple of perks because you choose that. What kind of backgrounds would you get if you originated from the city, Sam? You don't have to come up with it right now, but just kind of think along those lines, and I'll get back to you.
I
Um,
feel like I would be Bruno from Encanto, if I'm going to be completely honest. Just
Don't write that down. We don't talk about Bruno.
um
okay.
but yeah, and then just I'm sure there would be some people that have figured out how to monopolize themselves in a way that gains power for them and their family, and learning who like what the power system, how corrupt is it, like things like that would be kind of interesting.
So that's more of a not necessarily location. However, the power system could also play a role. Like if there are factions, what buildings slash locations do they own? So if there's like farmland, who owns it? Or mines, etc. So like those are the kinds of things I'm looking out for these fantastic locations.
Okay.
And what kind of mines? So what do they mine here? What's a fantastic thing that they would mine? Obviously, Stellarium would be like an easy choice because we're used to it. But maybe let's come up with a different type of a mineral or a crystal that does something different completely. And same with the farmland. Maybe instead of farming types of plants, they're actually farming like these grubs, these monsters that could actually kill some people if they're not careful or something along those lines. So something to really make this location interesting and cool. So those are the kinds of things that we're looking for when coming up with fantastic locations. Things that will really make it stick out. Anything else, Sam?
Okay, so going off of that and going off the mines, instantly I think if anyone knows what Uberlite is,
I do not.
Up as in Yooper, I think. Uberlite, Lite. So
I
it's
like
a
your words, Magic
stone.
Man.
It's a stone that will glow under UV, but I feel like the town could have implemented a similar thing to make like artificial light that works in a way that they don't need fuel for it. They can make like it works off of chemistry
I love
instead
it.
of fuel. And
See,
then that it's
yeah,
like
that's
a
great. That's awesome. Because normally what we do in fantasy settings is just like a everlasting light cantrip that's just always present. And that like gets boring after the 700th time. But that is unique. That's excellent, Sam. Thank you.
what can I say? I'm a rock hound. I love pretty shiny things. But seriously, look up Uperlite. It's so cool.
All right. All right. And Jeremy, what are some fantastic locations? Obviously, we talked about a library potentially, but what are some other things that you think would be present or should be present in our Shadowfell / Plane of Shadow location
Well, I will
that
just say
really makes
that
it stick
I
out?
am a The Rock guy. So Dwayne Johnson, obviously. I'm kidding. I actually pulled a couple cards earlier to sort of think on this, and some of it's already kind of come into play. Even the soup can kill you was one of them, and I was thinking that in a upside down, neutral evil place like a shadow dimension, um, that especially without any light, a lot of the vegetation that could grow or would grow would be poisonous or deadly. So in that vein, visitors to the Shadowfell would either have to bring their own food or be able to adapt like the peoples that have been transported there. So again, sort of in that same vein of like the farmlands and the food production of the city, how that's been like what production or facilities that they have to make the inedible or the poisonous edible for the peoples, and that they've been doing for hundreds of years. So that kind of went through like the factions and the farming and why a faction, you know, of farmland or food production might have so much power in a city that has to meticulously create the food that sustains them. Another card I pulled is called Live Long Enough for Better Stars, and that kind of also I felt fell into the same setting as this Shadowfell. So when we're talking about locations, I would think like places of worship, and maybe this is a very religiously bound peoples that are waiting for their return to the material plane. They believe that the god that they worshipped, that they were banished here for its ascension, is going to make it right and bring their people back once again, and that keeps them going in such a disastrous and dangerous and just terrible place to make home as the Shadowfell. Their faith keeps them strong because they believe one day they'll be returned.
That is excellent. Also, I was typing that as you were saying it. Like, before you said it, I already had it typed up, and I was like, yes, we are thinking the exact same right here.
Yeah.
That's awesome. All right, anything else here?
No.
All right.
Okay, can I chime in off of
Absolutely.
a good conflict for the return of, well, and sorry, I was looking up Uperlite pictures, and this might have been said, and I do apologize if I'm just repeating it, but and this is like an actual hypothetical issue that a lot of people talk about with time traveling, is immune systems and disease being brought back to different places. So if you think about like, okay, so these people have been here for 800 years, their immune system is built for this environment. It's not built for the original material plane from where they came from. And then vice versa, what disease could they spread, or what disease could they contract to potentially completely die out?
Absolutely. Piggybacking onto that, I had something and it's gone. Never.
Oh, wah wah. Sorry.
All right. Let me think. Yes.
So, sort of what I was fucking. It comes and then it slips away. Never mind.
It's okay.
Great.
I jumped back
believe in
up
you.
to the secrets and clues the players might find, and that was who banished the city and why. 800 years ago, stuff happened, as well as what happened in Seraphor. Some stuff happened, and if I'm being completely honest, I don't even know what happened to the city yet. But that's an easy way for me to like link it to Seraphor. That's just kind of my DMing like brain at work. Like, how can I link this city that we just poofed out of nowhere into our campaign and let it link to a lot of different things? And why was that set? And now that's what I was going to type up. So in the secrets and clues stuff, who banished the city and why 800 years ago stuff happened, and why was it shielded / hidden in a part of the sky that normally most telescopes can't find unless you have the magic of Stellarium and look through a Stellarium lens. And that is what like I just thought of this idea and I was just like, oh my god, I need to write this down. Anyway.
Yeah, I'm getting like a Pandora's box kind of feel. Like something about the city is hope to the gods of that pantheon, and that it had to be locked away from people or deities that would do it wrong.
Yeah, I would think like maybe even like a high level goddess or god of like life that would be like, Yeah, we're gonna hide all of this and lock it away so nobody else can find these kinds of magics and fuck up our nice, pretty little world here.
Like good intentions, they wanted to lock it away,
Yeah.
but
Mother
you
knows
know.
best.
Yeah, one of those.
Mother knows best.
All right, we got 5 minutes. We're gonna do a lightning round. Only like 1 to 5 word answers. Everyone roll a d20 really quick.
Oh dear.
Go, go, go. Jeremy and Ree have a date.
Oh dear.
Rosie.
Muad, Brad, notable NPCs or important NPCs. Who do you want to meet? What are they like? I'll fill out the Kogas, or we can fill it out later. But give me an NPC. Don't need a name. Just like who are they? What do they have to do with? What is something that you want to talk to them about?
Street urchin.
All right. What about it is enticing?
It belongs in the sea. But
Shit. Lightning round. You lightning elemental.
What was it?
Lightning elemental. It's a baby lightning
it?
elemental. But he's a street urchin.
Interesting.
I like that.
I'll figure that one out. Sam, important NPC. Give me something, anything. It could be the head of the city, a council member, how the council, or just like a head of a faction, or not a head of a faction, or Romeo, like not a head of a house, but like
I have something. Jesse, let me speak. I have something.
Go.
It's gonna be the faction leader learning about what the fuck's going on with their little squabble they have, and then also learning from some kind of, and this is a different person, learning from a person about how the magic system is with the glowing rocks, because I feel like that's important.
All right. And who is next? Ree, give me an important NPC.
I'm gonna say important NPC. I want like a really weathered barkeep who pretends that they are deaf but actually hears everything, and so everything, because people think that they are deaf, they share secrets openly around them. And so they just have a ton of information about all of the like secrets and of things going on.
oh, please make it an
Love
elephant
it.
person.
Luxodon. All right, cool. All right, Jer.
All right. So really quick, the card I drew was "Thrones make children of us all," and I had already thought that the really important NPC would be the whatever religious sect is there. This person not only has to maintain a city, but also has to maintain the faith of the people. Otherwise, the city would fall. And certain things that are happening in the city, maybe to do with the murder mystery, may be waning people's faith.
All right, relevant monsters. Brad, give me a monster that you would love to see in this type of a situation.
Corrupted golem.
Corrupted golem.
Corrupted by flesh golem.
Flash girl.
All right, Sam, give me a monster that you think would find in this setting.
I would love to find something that actually I want to find, this is going to sound kind of dumb. I want to find those little dangerous grubs you were talking about earlier and see if we can't figure out how to make them useful. Like they could be used for medicine or something, I swear to God.
Like how people use leeches for medicine, even though
Yeah.
they're fucking
Yeah.
gross.
Yeah,
All
they're
right.
gross, but they can still serve a purpose just because they aren't our favorite.
Ree, give me a monster or anything.
Okay.
It could even be like a human, like a bandit or something.
I mean, honestly, the one thing that I have always wanted to fight, but we have never fought, is a Grim Jester. That goes with the carnival thing, because
One of my favorite creatures.
they're fucking nuts. So I think that would be fun. Or I would like to find a new species of something that is incredibly cute and cuddly that I can befriend and get a pet from.
Yes. I second the motion.
Because I feel like Jesse denies us pets a lot.
Listen, I gave you Stibbles, and none of you kept your animal alive.
No, I left mine at the bar because I knew I would forget about it.
Exactly.
No,
we
I
were
was
walking.
smart.
We were walking, and then my creature, you came across an entire group of its own kind and ran away from me.
That's true. Sometimes the dice
Yeah.
speak for us.
Yeah.
Jeremy, give me a monster or a
I need help
thing.
from Rhiannon. Rhiannon, what are the name of those crazy creatures that I put in the Shadowfell during our campaign? There's like the hungry, the lonely.
Oh,
yeah.
we've used those before.
Yeah. They do have a special name. The Forsaken.
The Forsaken. The whatever the heart one is they're all terrifying, and especially if you
They
put them
really
in
are.
groups of them, they can be really rough.
Yeah, I think we did this when you guys went to the Pale Bleak Void and met Polyhamu and Thenariel. I think I put some of these in there if they are the official.
I've used
artworks.
ones from a Homebrew campaign. I'll send you the link for that one. It's specifically monsters that are like for the Shadowfell and like aberrations and stuff.
Okay. Jeremy, at this time, could you please just scroll up and then slowly scroll down, and you all can see just how much we've worked on in just 1 hour of time. We have, in essence, created a whole new location in literally 1 hour, and we have plot hooks, we have strong starts and quest seeds, we have secrets and
obviously,
clues.
we're very smart.
We are very smart. Honestly, I'm very, very satisfied with this, guys.
Okay,
this is
but
a lot to work with.
genuine question time. Jesse,
Yeah.
would this be beneficial for us to do this every once in a while just to give you kind of that like break and help you get like some new ideas flowing? Like we don't need to do it
1000%.
like maybe like once every couple months.
Maybe even once a month.
Yeah.
Because I'm like, I love playing, but I also love doing this like cooperative
We
world
could.
building.
I would also be fine if we instead of the first Monday of every month or the last Monday of every month, we do this instead of play.
Okay. We will discuss it further. Absolutely. Obviously, as we this is the first time I'm fully homebrewing things, so it's fun, obviously, but I have to do a lot of work. But this would definitely take a lot off my plate. It's definitely different from like running a module with half homebrew and such. But I believe Jeremy and Ree, you guys have to leave. So anyone who saw this kind of like brainstorming, I hope you got a lot out of it. I had a blast. Thank you guys very much. And please like and subscribe and do the Discord thing. It's all in the description below. And we'll see you next time.
Yeah, and if you were interested in the prompt cards that I was using, again, it's a whole ass game, but you can also use it for prompting. There's 4 days left in the Kickstarter. It's less than $2,500 away from its final stretch goal, which is a neoprene map. So it's great. November 10th is the last day, so if you haven't gotten it yet, go check it out. It support indie game creators.
Woo!
All right.
Also support Jeremy's sister. She's an awesome writer.
I don't think I said this last week because I don't think it had happened yet. She won the World Fantasy Award for her novel Saint Death's Daughter. So go check that out as well.
Yeah, because she's just fucking cool, man.
She's amazing. Yeah.
All right. Good night, everyone.
Good night.